must learn the way of influence. Because one thing that will make you invincible to the enemy is the level of influence you command. And influence in this context is not just human connection. You don't need God to build human connection. Influence in this context is authority in the spirit realm. There are two kinds of influence that every believer must have. The first kind of influence you must have is an advantage, a position of favor with God. And the second kind of influence you must have is authority over demons and demonic entities. If you don't have influence in the spirit, the day you require intervention, it will be scarce from your borders. And the day you want to resist spirits that try to mess up your context, you will discover that you are a Christian does not give you authority over demons. You can carry new creation reality and begin to argue this, but we don't need to take the argument far. Not every Christian today is casting out demons. If every Christian have authority over demons, all of us should cast out demons. We are all humans, so we can breathe. So everybody here is breathing. You don't need to study anything to breathe. Because you are human, breathing is natural to you. It is not so in the spirit. All of us who are in Christ have a potential to rule over demons. But we must consciously build this influence to be able to exercise this dominion in the spirit. Most of the things happening to people today are operations of demons and demonic entities. And the reason these things are allowed is because they cannot exercise authority in the demonic realm. Every believer today must have influence. Influence, which is first of all an advantage or a favor you have with God. Remember, when the angel came to Mary, he said, "Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women." The woman had favor above all women. There was something she carried that stood her out amongst other virgins. Every believer today must know or engage something that God has taught him that makes him become very, very active, or allows God and angels to become active around him. The operations of the spirit and angelic beings cannot be far from you in these days. If they are far, there is problem. So you must know what to do to keep these beings actively operational within your context. If you don't have influence in the last days, you are doomed. The second thing you must have as an advantage now is favor. Why influence is favor with God and authority over demons. Favor is actually authority in the realm of men that commands the allegiance of men. And it doesn't just command the allegiance of men, it commands it to a point where you get what you don't deserve. If you live only on the strength of equity in the last day, you have problem. The reason is because there are so many manipulations in the visible realm that deny people what they deserve. That's why today you find first-class people roaming the street without jobs. Today you find very competent people who are qualified for whatever, not having it. I heard a story of a young man. He applied for the Nigerian Navy and he passed every test. He came to the final point where they say they stand before the rednecks. Those are the generals. And so when you come there, it is like the final screening where they check you out and to ensure you have met everything, so they approve you for commissioning. When he showed up, everybody who showed up had a candidate. And they asked him, whose candidate is he? All they had was certificate, intelligence and competence. And the generals were shocked. How did you make it here? You don't have a candidate, or you are not somebody's candidate and you reached here. How? I'm not telling you stories. I was in Warri in 2012 when I heard this. They called another officer and said, "You don't transfer to go." The guy wanted to argue. They kicked him barracks. True life story. At that point, all he needed was for one general to just say, "Since he has reached here, let's go." But there was nobody to speak with him, speak for him where it matters. Some people's certificates have been thrown away because there's nobody to speak for them. Some people's destinies have been concluded in the negative because there's nobody to speak for them. There are many people who, with great potential, warfare have destroyed them because they just brought their name up and nobody spoke for them. And then in that cycle, they were blacklisted. And everybody who left that cycle condemning them and ostracizing them. And so for the rest of their lives, everything they did was stunted because men didn't speak for them. When you have favor, you command the allegiance of men. In Genesis chapter 12 verse 36, the children of Israel were in captivity for 400 years. 430 years to be exact. And when God came, he said, I will give favor. That's the power he gave them to the Israelites. And he said, the Israelites spoiled the Egyptians. He said, go and tell your lords to give you their golds, their jewelries. And the people could not say no. Because when a man has favor, he commands the allegiance of others. People will support him. People will bow to him. People will serve him. They won't know why. Not because he's the best. He has an economy in the spirit. And even the things that man does not deserve, by every standard, you can see it. He will be the one having it. And sometimes they are arrogant about it. But because they have favor, favor is speaking for them. You hate them, there's nothing you can do about it. If you want to be invincible in this realm, one thing that must not be lacking is favor. The moment you begin to lack favor, you begin to disalign with men. You have the best motive, you have the best intention, you have the best product, you have the best talent, you have the greatest commitment, but you will be the rejected one. Every man who is invincible, something working on his life that you can always bank on is favor. It's not all the time that men are competent. It's not all the time that men are qualified. If all you have is competence, you are in trouble. The world we are living in now, you can't begin to talk only on the frequency of rights and wrongs. If you are arguing on the scale of rights, you will be a victim 1,000 times. Beyond what is right and what is wrong, who is correct and who is wrong, there has to be something on your life that gives you the advantage, especially when you are running with men. That thing is called favor. You find people who are going ahead in life today, go and check. There are many aspects of their life you can't explain. Many times, something moved men to support them, even men that don't know them. Did you not read about David? He said David desired to drink water from the well that was in the garrison of the Philistine. And 3 generals. These are not common men. These are men that have rank in the army. These are men that have something to live for. They jeopardized their lives and went to fetch water for David to drink. That means David's test was equivalent to 3 lives. And they were willing to waste themselves any day, any time because of David. What is that? It's called favor. You will struggle through life, optimize the life again and again, except as favor begins to work for you. If favor is not at work in your life, you're in trouble, my brothers and sisters. What you need in your life to succeed is called mercy. Why favor gives you what you don't deserve? Mercy exonerates you from what you deserve. The reason is because you will make a lot of mistakes many times before you get to the top. And many times the mistakes you will make will be enough to disqualify you. Many times men will rise up against you for no reason. And they will be too powerful for you to even imagine you will fight with them. Many times spirits will stand up to make you a victim. The Bible said in Lamentations chapter 3 verse 22, it said to subvert a man in his cause, the Lord approveth not. And the reason is because he said his compassion faileth not. He said it is for the Lord's mercy that we are not consumed. His compassion faileth not. Every man you see who is invincible is enjoying mercy. The day mercy is withdrawn from his life is finished. I'm telling you the truth. Believe this and believe it with the whole of your heart. If mercy is withdrawn from your life, you are finished. You will deploy yourself to ensure that you have more than enough of these things that work in your life. Because these things will make you invincible. Our world is wicked. Our world is in darkness. The Bible said the habitation of darkness, of cruelty. That's where we are living in. And so for you to succeed, for you to fulfill God's mandate for your life, you must have mercy speaking for you every morning. That's why the Bible said in James chapter 2 verse 13, it says mercy prevails over judgment. There are many things concluded to destroy you. There are many things concluded to crush you. You will not even be aware. Mercy will exonerate you, and many times you will not even know. It's when you leave this world, they will show you that you didn't die once. You died 35 times, but 34 occasions mercy exonerated you. You may not know. Some of you sitting here are supposed to be dead a long time ago. What you are spending now is called mercy. Some of you, what came for you in your mother's womb. Some of you, what came for you the day you were born. Some of you, even while you are coming for this service this evening, there was a calendar of death that you don't know you were saved from. The reason is because mercy. When you get to heaven, you discover that nobody died once. They say a cat has 9 lives. A believer has more than 1,000 lives. Many times, mercy saves him again and again and again. He's not just aware. This is why you have to constantly deploy mercy in your life. Because most of the things mercy will do for you, you will not be aware. And so in order to live victoriously, unconsciously, you need the equation of mercy to be added into your life. The final thing you need is wisdom. Wisdom is the authority to walk through destiny according to what was written. When you come into destiny, there are lots of things that want to deviate you, either by omission or by commission, either by persuasion or by force. It will want to take you away. And the path we are following is a narrow path. The gate is a narrow gate. You will need a lot of wisdom to walk circumspectly. The book of Ephesians chapter 5 verse 15, it says, walk circumspectly, redeeming the time, for the days are evil. That means what makes you to maximize your life is wisdom. When you see people making the most in their existence, wisdom is in full supply. I taught you before that there are many cycles in our existence. There are certain things that happen to you every 3 years. If you are a student of patterns, you will understand. Some of you, at the end of every year, something happens to you. So you know that as you are approaching December, there will be a shift. Some of you, your cycle is at your birthday. Every time you are approaching your birthday, something happens. And so you know it's a cycle. So the things that happen to men are weaved into cycles in the spirit. It will take wisdom for a man to know what to do at the kairos moments. Because his destiny will be decided not at the chronos times. His destiny will be decided at the kairos moment. You may live for 70 years, but you may have only 6 kairos moments. And so the weight of your life is not 60 years. The weight of your life is actually those 6 kairos moments. If you maximize it, your 60 years will count. But if you don't maximize it, even if you live for 120 years old, you will not make any impact. That's why Methuselah is not the most relevant man on earth. It doesn't take age. It takes wisdom. Maximizing kairos moments in order to live an invincible life. There are many people that have wasted their kairos moment, and so they live their chronos moment as slaves. What enthrones you as a king on earth is what you do with your kairos moment. If you waste your kairos moment, your chronos moment will become a slavery moment for you. That's why you see some people slaving all their lives, because they wasted the time when kings were coronated. You want to succeed? You want to live the invincible life? You must have influence in the spirit. That's an advantage with God and authority over demons. You want to succeed in life? You must have favor. That is the authority over men that commands their allegiance and causes you to receive from men much more than you deserve. You want to succeed in life? You must have mercy, which is the authority that exonerates you from the judgment and the evil that you deserve. And you want to succeed in life, you must have wisdom that causes you to maximize every season of your life. If you fail to maximize the season, unless God releases restoration, you will be far younger than you look.